Okay, Jai Hind everyone.
Jai
Yes,
Hind,
sir.
sir.
Okay, audio is okay for
Yes, sir.
everyone.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Adarsh, you repeat your question.
Okay, sir. So actually, I have one question that what if that you are trying something from the last 2 or 3 years, but your parents also see your efforts, but at last they feel that if you're but if someone is not getting that thing, the parents are saying that skip that thing. You did your best. Go for another thing. But what if, sir, I have a chance to do that thing, but they are saying it's enough. Shift to another. Shift your goal.
Okay, this happens with many students, particularly in your phase. After 12th, there are some decision. You go for graduation, you go for particular professional course, or you decide for some competitive exam. And here, it is not easy actually. Family has got some aspirations, they have got some hopes, you also have some hopes. And if you see failures, one or two failures, not getting exactly the way you want, then it is loss of confidence. And this particular aspect shatters family also and individual, of course. But then this is a real test of your character. You have to build up that atmosphere in the family by having more transparency in day to day communication. You all need to sit together, which is very difficult actually, because there are some frustrating moments when there is a bad result or bad patch going on. The invariably the psychology of a human being is not to face people. We don't like to discuss at that particular moment in our families. We avoid people. But then real solution is when you sit with the concerned family members, gain their confidence, discuss your plan. Of course, after one or two or three failures, family is worried about you. It is not that any member in the family is enemy. In fact, they are well wishers, good wishers, and that is the real reason they are worried and they want you to hurry up, change your dimensions, change your goals, go for something which is capable or achievable. And in the bargain, there is some kind of differentiation in your opinions. But then others, the way out is you must gain confidence, and it is little tough by convincing parents. Like in my case, I will give you one example which I faced in my life. At the age of 18, when I joined or entered into the Air Force, I was elder. So those days, if someone is settled or got the government job, immediately after 2 3 years, maybe by the time I was 21 22, the relatives started putting pressure. Relatives started putting pressure that you must, my parents, they must find some match for me, and now he's settled, he's in job. When are the marriage plan or all those things started. I took my parents in confidence and I said, I am not yet settled. I want to shift to a class 1 job. And I asked a timeline. I gave them assurance that by the time I am 25, if I don't achieve my goal, then I will obey your instructions, orders. Luckily, my plans worked. I was through CDS, I was in officer cadre, and that is how I could meet the aspirations of myself, family, and the relative circle. So, you also need to set the plans. some way forward. You must be discussing. Firstly, you should have confidence, generate that confidence that this is my timeline. Like today, if it is 2022, you should be very clear. 2023, what is going to happen in your life? 2024, what is the milestone? 2025, what is the milestone? Try and visualize, set the your map. Of course, things will not exactly happen the way you want, but somewhere it will fall in line. Your plan, if it is realistic, you will be generally traveling at that plan and you will have some direction. Okay, Adarsh, this is how at family level,
Yes,
at
sir.
your individual level, you all must generate confidence in the family member. They will also listen to you. You will also have some kind of terms of reference that, okay, if this thing happens, then okay, otherwise I will change my plan, I will change my goal, and I will follow someone else's suggestion, because at times we don't come to know that whether we are actually on a right track or not. Others, I hope this clarifies your some kind of confusion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, who is the first volunteer who will speak?
Yes, sir.
May I, sir?
Okay, Adarsh, you will take card.
No, sir. I'm not
Okay,
that much
prepared.
confident.
Who
Yeah.
wants card?
Yes, sir.
Anyone who wants card? Or all are prepared on their own topics? Okay, no one is volunteering. Today we will go with your own topics. No forced card numbers. Okay, Suraj, keep time. Adarsh,
Yes,
you
sir.
can go ahead.
Wait a second, Adarsh.
Those who are new, just see how things are happening. You'll get to know.
Adarsh, you can start now.
So, good evening, friends. My today's lecture topic is Supreme Court of India. So, as we all know that the Supreme Court is the highest appeal body of our country. It is in the fifth part of the Constitution, comes under Article 124. And currently, there are 31 judges, including the Chief Justice of India, and all are appointed by the President of India. So, if we go through a little bit of history, that India wasn't had any judiciary system. That this judiciary system is given to us by the Britishers. But there is a one thing, though it was given to us by the Britishers or the another country. But if we see in the today's world, in the present time, that our Supreme Court is the world's most powerful court in the world. If you check any other court, for example, in US court, in a British court or German, any other court, it will our Supreme Court is always be on the number one, and it also proves itself. For example, there are n number of landmark judgment given by the Supreme Court. For example, that LIC case is there, the Bomani case is there, and there some recent cases like Puttaswamy Iyer case is there, and the count is still going on. And also why I'm saying this, because whenever the legislative and executive didn't listen the judiciary, every time the judiciary took the steps. For example, the recent case, if we say that when the Supreme Court is told the legislative to make some rules and regulations, some law for the sex workers, that time the legislative didn't pass any bill. So the Supreme Court of India, it used its special power, comes under Article 142, and pass a law and giving a right to the sex workers and make the sex workers as a legal. And one more thing is there, that if the president, the first man of our country, if he needs any type of advice, then he directly asks to the Supreme Court of India, and which is a very big thing in our judiciary. So these all are things. That is the reason why the Supreme Court is a very important for India and plays a very major role in India. But if we see, if something has a good thing, it also has some bad things too. For example, if we see that our Supreme Court was formed in 1950 in January. But if we see, still
Last
from
30
that time,
seconds.
we don't have any Chief Justice, a lady Chief Justice. So, which is the very biggest threat? India is a population of 130 crore people, and we don't have a female justice in our country, which is very shameful for us. And this thing shows that there is not there, but and the judiciary is always talk about the equality. They protect the equality of the people, integrity of the people, and even the judiciary don't have, the Supreme Court, they don't have any female judge. So it is a question of concern. Thank you.
Okay, Adarsh, you can conclude always. Even if you are falling short of time, take another 10 seconds and smoothly conclude. Always develop that habit so that
Yes, sir.
it is a smooth ending. Okay,
I have some points, but when he said the 30 seconds, so I sum up actually early.
this is what is we need to learn, an art of adjusting, adapting to time plan. And if time is 1 hour, you are able to speak. Time is 1 minute, still you are able to speak. This art will be developed once you practice more. You repeated this topic earlier also. You had spoken, I think, last week, isn't it?
Sir, yes, sir. It was intentionally actually, sir.
Okay.
Because earlier it was not that much up to the mark. So I
Yes,
thought, yeah.
it
So
has improved. I have no objection if you repeat your topic, because after all it is an experience. Now, small things you need to learn with every practice. You used a word, first man of India. No, use a very formal language for such things. When you are using a word for president, it is the first citizen of nation, first citizen of country. Okay? Instead of a
right, sir.
man,
Yes.
you say citizen. This is just a learning that appropriate words using, because you may be standing today in an exam, but tomorrow you may be at some forum where audience is highly qualified, very formal environment. Then you should be developing a habit of choosing words which are appropriate. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Supreme Court, obviously, it is our one of the most important institute, or the organization where the democracy is looked after. They are the watchdogs. Everything is controlled, because whenever our political system is going little here and there is a fallback place or the watchdogs. You saw in the recent past a lot of very difficult problems are solved by the Supreme Court or through the Supreme Court. Government also wanted that it should get into the Supreme Court channel and get resolved amicably, little peacefully. And one of that was Ram Mandir. This India could solve this problem very peacefully through the doors of Supreme Court. Then now when Article 370 was abrogated, you saw people are having some place where they can knock the doors. Some of the people who were not agreeing to the decision of Government of India about abrogation of Article 370, there is a place, there is a temple, or there is some kind of ray of hope that someone can represent and a justice is sought. So this is the beauty of a democratic setup where there is some grievance. So there is a court system or a Supreme Court where uh, a neutrality is there, or justice system is there, some rationality is there, and people, as long as they are having faith in courts, the democracy is intact. The day people start losing hope in courts, probably democracy will be questioned. People may revolt with aggressive stance. People may come up. What happened in Sri Lanka is the situation which may happen in any democratic setup when there is no fallback place. So this is the importance of Supreme Courts or the courts in general in a setup of democracy. Okay, good. Suraj, ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Am I
others.
audible?
Yes, others keep time.
Yes, sir. Suraj, wait for a second.
Okay.
Suraj, you can start now.
Okay. Uh, Thank you, Adarsh. Hello, friends. Today, my lecture topic is agriculture in India. Agriculture in India was started from Indus Valley civilization. In 1965, then Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri gave a slogan that was Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. It means if our Kisan farmer is prosperous, if he is happy, the country will become prosperous automatically. In 1947, when we got independence, 70% of India's population was dependent on agriculture. And in 2021, this percentage has been reduced to 58%. Why this so? If we see what are the challenges in agriculture, there are many challenges like improper facility of irrigation, lack of storage facilities, climate change. The impact of climate change is the biggest enemy of farmer. Because of this, the farmer doesn't get the his production up to the mark. Another challenges like there is no electricity in villages 24 by 7. There is no proper storage facilities, interference of middleman, lack of government schemes and facilities, the increasing rate of suicidal in farmers. These are the challenges, and how a wise farmer can turn these challenges into opportunities. There are many opportunities before a farmer. There are many engineers who are left their engineering and started their traditional occupation as a farming, and they are earning lakh of rupees. Group farming, organic farming, dairy farming, allied farming. These are the opportunities before a farmer. These engineers are doing innovative farming and earning in lakhs of rupees. If we see what is the role of technology in agriculture, so today's era technology is playing very vital role in agriculture. If we see the example of Israel and Australia, these countries are using robots in agriculture. They are using drones in agriculture in order to produce a large number of crops. Agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. If we see the data, uh, agriculture contributes 19% to the total GDP of country. If you see what government is doing, time to time government is amending the laws. They are introducing scheme and policies. One of the scheme is that Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Electronics National Agriculture Market is there. Lastly, I just want to say, if we really want to become $5 trillion economy, so agriculture should be a primary and a very vital sector which should not be neglected by the government as well and Indian citizen. Thank you so much.
Okay, good Suraj. A much improved presentation today. Agriculture is really a backbone. And in the end, what Suraj is saying, if we really want to become $5 trillion economy, the bigger share has to come from agriculture. Today, if more than 50% people are deployed, employed, or engaged in agriculture, what is the GDP? What Suraj is saying, 19%, maybe less than that. That is not the corresponding ratio we would desire. And if we are really on a track of Atmanirbhar Bharat, the biggest sector which should be reformed is agriculture. Because when on one hand government is planning to be import free from the petrol and diesel point of view, or we want to reduce our import bill of oil, and we are looking forward for alternative in agriculture byproducts. We want to prepare, produce methanol, ethanol, or whatever fuel replacement we can have from the sides of these agriculture byproducts. And if it becomes reality, imagine country will prosper with maybe exponential growth we will see in coming 1 decade. If it really turns out to be the way government is planning or people are aspiring, those who are actually technology oriented. When we have less labor nowadays available in agriculture, we want more machineries. On one hand, we want to have more employment, but very less people are interested in to work in agriculture. It is sophisticated engineers who are now devising some new means for agriculture. They are bringing some technology into it. But what about a common person who was literally working as a labor or working with hands? The rural people are now looking forward for better life and they're turning towards urban areas. But somewhere we need to have a balance. We want to grow our agriculture sector. At the same time, our youth, the um, enthusiastic and the bubbling youth, they also need to have a sophisticated life. So it cannot be traditional or orthodox way of farming. Probably we need to make it more attractive, more modernized, and then people will be attracted. We see a couple of examples where IITs are turning to agriculture sector with modern touch, and this is required on a larger scale where we can treat agriculture as agribusiness in future, and then it will be the greatest turning point. It has started, but more boost is required. Okay, good. Who is the next volunteer?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sanjeevani.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Suraj, keep time.
Yes, sir.
The new
Wait.
members can decide. You speak on any topic, no restriction. The format is 3 minutes. 2.5 minutes, you are given warning. And it is not easy. This is a very, very beautiful exercise when you speak for 2 to 3 minutes. And you will see how you literally improve day by day. Okay, Sanjeevani.
Sanjini, you can start now.
Okay. Good evening to all. Today my lecture topic is India Defense Export. So first of all, in the financial year 2021-22, India Defense Export is 13,000 crore, the highest ever. Then the present situation is as the 2021, India is the 23rd largest arm export in the world. India's share in the defense export market is 0.2% in 10 countries like China, France, USA, Russia, etc. BrahMos deals with the Philippines. Philippines is 2008 crores signed in January 2021 is the first major defense export. Uh, Defense budget is 2020 to 23 open in 25% of the R&D funds to provided to the private sector startup and academic sector. India is aiming to achieve 35,000 crores worth of defense export by the year 2025. This is a big boost for the domestic defense industry and the path for Atmanirbhar Bharat in the defense sector. Thereby, this can lead to increase the defense export from India. The some more need to be done by India. First is to compete with the biggest defense export from the world. India need to manufacture high quality and advanced weapons at the competitive and comfortable price. Two defense export countries from make lifetime maintenance support contract with the equivalent nations. So India too should make such a contract to compete the biggest defense export. India should work on making this with the biggest arm imports such as South Arabia, Australia to increase the defense export to the great extent. So last and most important is India should work on gaining the trust, which is a pre-requirement for the defense export market. So lastly, I want to conclude
Last
that
30 seconds.
India has won a long way in the defense export and it reaches an all time at high 30,000 crores in the financial year 2021-22. Other India has a potentially complete to biggest arm export in the world. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good, Sanjeevani. Very important topic. If our nation wants to be rich, powerful, then the only way is we should be doing in one of the sectors very good. And which are these sectors? We don't have naturally oil, we don't have naturally gold, we have talent. So far, we have been doing good in our space industry. There was no dearth of talent, but we never actually promoted our defense sector. We had restrictions, we had government control, and that is why we were operating on the public sector undertakings model, DRDO and all. But we never really promoted the export policy or the production policy, and that is why we kept on importing the things. Our everything was imported, which meant for war fighting. Our tanks, our aircrafts, our artillery guns, our sophisticated equipments, radars, everything was imported, and we were too dependent on Russia or off late to European countries. Israeli off late, we are dependent on them. But what about our own production? What was the problem? We never focused on that. Maybe it was initial policy, but sooner the better now. We are now focusing more on production because we are almost highest importer as far as the world market goes. Maybe ahead of us is only Saudi Arabia, who imports more than us as far as the worth goes. But what about our requirement? Requirement is huge. We are fourth largest standing force, and we have our problems. We cannot relax on that. Our aircraft requirement, tank requirement, missile requirement, everything is there. We are not a country surrounded by peaceful nations. So if that is the requirement, we have to be okay. Swavalamban for navy. Future is water. In blue oceans, we have to have control because land has got limitation. It is a landlocked country wherever they are. It is easy to defend. What about the oceans? The real battle is now in future at oceans. So this is how we need to think, plan, and Atmanirbhar. If we really, as a nation, want to be Atmanirbhar, defense production is one thing because the way now our space sector has recognized um, talent at world level, we are the most respected country as far as the space industry goes. Nations, all the nations now believe in us, our capabilities, and that is why a lot of market is coming to us. We are launching satellites from other countries. Other countries' satellites are getting launched from our launch pads. Defense industry is yet to gear up. We don't have our own cryogenic engine. We don't have our own, in a literal sense, fighter aircrafts. We don't have very advanced things in defense sector. Warship. Still, we are in collaboration and building upon it. So a very important topic. You all can read more on it, and it because if we really want to prosper and be powerful, there is no other way but we have to be really self-reliant in this sector because tomorrow war breaks out, we cannot look up to the people, other nations, because nobody is permanent enemy and permanent friend in today's world. So we cannot have dependency on any nation. Otherwise we'll be in problem. Okay, who is next?
May I?
Who is there? Kartik?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Sanjivani, keep time.
Yes, sir. Kartik, just a minute.
Okay.
You can start.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today's topic is organic farming. Organic farming is basically a production system which avoids and largely excludes the use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, and all those chemically compounded things which are currently used in agriculture. It also denies the use of genetically modified crops and growth regulators. So what are used in organic farming? Organic farming relies upon traditional things such as crop rotation, use of animal manures such as cow dung, legumes, crop residues, biofertilizers, etc. The concept of organic farming dates back to the recent 20th century, and it was first introduced as a farming method which will be completely
stop the use of chemicals. It was uh, it was in the Britain when organic farming was first tried, and it yielded results which was not very satisfactory, but the results were quite better. As far as the food quality was concerned, the results were better, but the quantity was far less. Uh, Organic farming method can't be it can't substitute the current farming method. Organic farming method can increase farm productivity. It can repair decades of environmental damage done to the soil by unconscious use of chemical fertilizers. Organic farming method has several advantages, but it also has a few disadvantages too. Like it can't replace the current farming method. Also, it has seen that organic farming method, the quantity in organic farming method is far less than the current farming method. It helps to maintain environmental health by reducing the level of pollution. Organic farming method reduces human and animal health hazards by reducing the level of residues in the product. Organic farming method is the method of future. Like many people in this century are shifting towards organically farmed foods the
Last 30
hazards
seconds.
the hazards produced by different foods are many. The cancers in the recent times has forced many metropolitan people to go for organic foods. Thank you.
Okay, good, Kartik. Important topic. In fact, whole world is concentrating on now organic farming. As highlighted by Kartik, cancer, the biggest challenge in front of whole world. Different types of cancers are getting detected. The reason is maybe the pollution around us, the food quality intake for us is going down because more and more quantity. The human civilization has grown tremendously beyond our imagination and we require them to feed. So we developed some kind of techniques, faster crop patterns at the cost of what? Quality. In organic farming, compromises quality. Organic farming gives quality. But the limitations which Karthik was highlighting, organic farming is not easy. Little lengthier, little orthodox way of farming. If, for example, you require natural manure, cow dung or what, but you cannot have that much quantity. So any natural farming techniques will have problems because we want more production, speedy production, and in the bargain we developed inorganic means, something in any pros and cons of science. Here comes the cons of science in the farming, where too much of inorganic ways have resulted in compromise on quality. This is the problem, and that is how future will be more of organic farming, pollution controls. We want hygienic foods, nutritious foods, especially after COVID. People have realized. But today, in a developing society, the cost is having more impact. Organic farming, the production is little costly because it involves costly production, so will be the sellout. So people are still compromising on their health, but in times to come, as and when purchase capacity increases, people, those who can afford, will go for organic products, and government will also come to a point where this will be promoted more. And Karthik would have given some examples. Sikkim is one state where organic farming is now going very successful, and it is catching the attention of entire country. And similarly, some pockets in the country are now promoting organic farming. Okay, good. Who is the next?
Somewhere.
Abhaya. Okay. Karthik, can you keep time?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You can start.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My today's lecture topic is new education policy. So, getting proper basic knowledge and education is a right right of each and every individual, as per the Indian Constitution. So, education is a key of element in a development of a child for getting ready to lead a happy life. The changes in national education policy after 1986 in the 21st century took place in July 2020. and emerged out to be the a new education policy, that is 2020. The new education policy is the reworking of the earlier national education policy. Uh, it is um, it is a change of the entire system of education by a new structural outline. The vision lead in a new education policy is turning system into a high-spirited and energetic one. There must be an effort in making the learner responsive and skilled. The advantages of new policy system is the new education policy focused on the integrated development of the leaders and learners. It replaced the 10 plus 2 system within 5 plus 5, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure, which stays 12 years of schooling and 3 years of preschooling at the earliest stage. The examination will be conducted in 3, 5 and 10. Group the 3, 5 and 8 grade only. Other will go for the regular assignment. Board exam will also be made easier and held twice in a year, so that each child get two attempts. The Union Cabinet in July 2020 approved the new education policy, that is NEP, which aims at universalization of education from preschool to secondary level. That NCTE will formulated a new comprehensive national education framework for the teacher training. That is NCFTE 2021 in consultation with NCRT. The state and central government both will work for together towards whether public investments by public for education will give rise to a GDP by 6% at earliest. The new education policy focused on enhances practical education instead of laying
Last
stress
30
on book
seconds.
for learning. The NEP allows for development and learning children by a general interaction, group discussion, then reasoning. The students will have to freedom to select their courses they desire to learn along the course set subjects. Thus, promoting skill development, the government will be setting up a way to researchers and innovation at the universities and colleges level by setting
Time is up.
NRF, that is National Research Foundation. Also, there are disadvantages that the implementation of the language, that is teaching up fifth grade to the continuous in regional languages, is almost its utmost problem. The child will be taught in regional languages, and therefore will be the have less approach towards the English language, which is required for fifth grade. Kids have been subject to structural learning, which might increase and burden on their small minds. Thank you.
Okay, Abhaya, very good. Mm, this new education policy, all have to be aware. You all who are heading for competitive exams must read it thoroughly, must get understanding. Firstly, why such policy is required. The need. You should be very clear. Is it really required? Yes, it is required. As there are so many developments happening, how can we keep our education system the way it was, suppose 3 decades back? Maybe British time influence is there on that education system, where some people allege that it is creating workforce who can work for their masters industry. Where is the um, real quality of leaders from schools which we are supposed to create, produce original thinkers who are more confident, who have got a chance to grow in any skill, not only that bookish kind of thing, and even in different sectors. We want teacher related some policies, we want school, higher education, everywhere, because we are aiming to become a powerful nation. We need to have our own standards, some kind of cultural impact in our education system. We should be proud of our own heritage, history. We should be telling to the future generation about our culture. So some kind of accommodation of all these things was required. Secondly, we want more scientists to come up in future. How it will happen when the school education, higher education is aligned towards it. There are so many changes in technology. 5 decades back, things were different. Today, it is all computer, modern science. Our aspirations are different as a nation, as a society, and at an individual level also. Languages. India is a country where every field has got diversity. So why can't we have every language also promoted through our education system in a proper way? There are some complaints which need to be addressed. So many things. You all should read through education policy, get clarity on it, because a nation, if wants to do well, the education sector has to be addressed. It is the real area where the citizens are getting shaped, their minds are getting cultivated, and thought process is aligned, nurtured, and our future citizens should be the way we want. Britishers made an education system which they wanted. We need to come out of that clutches. We are yet into that grip where we were producing workers for Britishers. So today things are different. We are an independent country where probably we need to redefine our education policy, and that is exactly was done. Things may be 100% correct. There may be some changes in times to come. It will happen automatically as and when it is pointed out. Okay, good. Uh, Subodh ready or need more time?
No, sir, I'm ready.
Okay. Abhaya, keep time. Abhaya, be
Excuse
regular.
me, sir.
Yes, sir. Now
Okay.
I will be regular.
Yes.
Sir,
Saurabh.
may I please get a card to
Okay.
prepare a
You
topic?
take Saurabh. You take eight number eight.
Okay, sir.
Subodh, you are ready?
Yes.
So you can start.
Okay, so good evening. My lecture topic is abrogation of Article 370. So, starting from the past, when we got independence in 1947, so Kashmir is a burning issue for India as well as for Pakistan. When we got independence, so Kashmir is a independent state, which is ruled by the Hindu ruler, that is Raja Hari Singh, and the subject is mainly Muslims. Jammu and Kashmir did not involve in India's where till Pakistan attacked it in 1948 when Raja Hari Singh signed instrument of accession with India, and then after we captured the half part of Kashmir, just because Pakistan intruders infiltrated into the Indian part of Jammu and Kashmir and they captured it. From that point of time, Kashmir is a very hot issue between India and Pakistan. We fought almost four wars with Pakistan on basis of Kashmir and one with on the basis of Bangladesh, liberation of Bangladesh. But the condition became very severe in late 80s and 90s when the genocide has taken place of the Kashmiri Hindus, Kashmiri Pandits were killed by the local people over there. And then after the situation become more and more unstable because the Kashmir issue is burning in all over India and it is very difficult for Indian government to handle it. Though army played a very important role in maintaining the situation in Kashmir, but still it is not up to the mark. On 5th of August, on 9th of August 2019, the government has declared that abrogation of Article 370. The main reason that why government has abrogated the Article 370 is just because to save the Kashmiri youths from getting out of the clutches of the terrorism. Because Pakistan is continuously supporting the youths of Kashmir and they simply leaning towards Pakistan for the sake of that Azad Kashmir. And because of that, this step has been taken to develop the Kashmiri peoples and to free them from the clutches of terrorism. Because many of the youths of Kashmir they are getting brainwashed, and because of that, it is very important become important for India to abrogate the Article 370. Then the second most important thing is that we are losing a lot. We are losing many soldiers in the Jammu and Kashmir region just because of the terrorism supported by the Pakistan. We have lost many soldiers, many brave officers, many soldiers in the Kashmir region just because of the terrorism. And it is the main point that we have abrogated Article 370. Then third is for the development purpose. Now, if I talk about the government of India taken a lot of initiatives to develop the Kashmir region after the abrogation of Article 370. If I talk the situation before abrogation of Article 370, so no outsider can take place or no outsider can have domicile in the Jammu and Kashmir region. They have their own
Last 30
constitution.
seconds.
They have their own flag. Even they can also disrespect the Indian flag. So after the Article 370, it is not so. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assigned almost 30,000 crore to the Jammu and Kashmir region for the development. So, lastly, I want to conclude that, and according to my opinion, development is the main issue that we can solve the hate between the citizen, between the people of the Kashmir and the Indian citizens. And army is playing a very important role in that, because army has done the halfway to convince or to persuade the peoples of Kashmir, because they are now generating, or they are now creating the faith that Indian army is our army and we
Time up.
need to support them. So this is the thing that army has played an important role, and not only that, our government scheme has also played an important role in that, and we need to support it. Thank you.
Okay, good, Subodh. Flow was good. Content was good. Very important topic from the military exams point of view, and even as a citizen of a country. We need to understand if there are some problems in the country, they will definitely affect each one of us. Not that it is happening in North India and southern states are not worried or they will not have any impact. Country's growth is dependent on all these things when there is good happening or bad happening. So, abrogation of Article 370, why it was brought, why it was done, what is the history. Really, if we have to have provisions of a separate identity, separate statehood, or with some privileges. India is a very, very beautiful setup where it is federal. There is a union government and there are state governments. But a particular state, if gets special status or some kind of privileges, it has to be time bound. It cannot be permanent. Otherwise, it will affect other states also. And some kind of heterogeneous demography has to come up. What happened in Kashmir? Just because we kept it isolated, not getting mixed with the rest of the country, it has actually affected wrongly, negatively on the state of Kashmir. The people literally were not mixing up with rest of the country. You saw the central services, very late we started getting representation. Central sports or national teams, very late. Off late we are getting now players because we kept them separate. Even if in our society, if some families kept separate, protected in the name of protection, of course, that family will never get mixed up with the rest of the society. At the nation level, maybe in a layman's term, we can understand this. A state is kept aloof, not really interacting with the rest of the country. This is a special status privilege, but there is a lot of harm in it. And more so when we have neighbors as an enemy country who are utilizing, exploiting the special status for wrongdoings. So maybe time had come to abrogate it, and government has done it. Army has done its bit. All the government agencies are trying to do their bit. But what about the overall scheme? It was not suiting. Special status has actually done more harm than good for Kashmir. Other all the states have developed. Kashmir was not developing the way we wanted. Okay, so maybe more points. Subodh has covered a lot of good points. Good. Okay, who is ready now? Saurabh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Subodh, keep time.
Yes, Saurabh, you can start.
Gentlemen, in today's world, the technology has increased so much that the whole world resides in our hand. Yes, gentlemen, we are speaking about the smartphone, and thus the topic of my lecture today is smartphone, a friend or foe. For the ease of understanding, I would like to divide my topic into three parts: brief history about evolution of smartphones, the advantages of it, and the disadvantages. Gentlemen, it was the year of 1973 when the first cellular phone was a first cellular phone was invented, which was used just for talking, using the radio waves. And after that, soon the evolution started, and there were many models coming up. And in the late 2000 and 2010, the era of smartphone began, and everyone in today's world is handling the smartphone. Gentlemen, the smartphone that we are using are having lots of advantage. The first and foremost advantage is we can educate ourselves by learning various courses, by gaining a vocational training, by developing our skills through various online platforms. Gentlemen, the smartphones have been uh, the smartphones were very useful in the era of COVID-19 when the whole country was imposed in lockdown for 2 years. Everyone was able to continue with their studies. Another advantage of smartphone, it has become a major source of income. People are now gaining money through various platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and various other platforms. Another advantage that social smartphones are having, that it has been easy to be connected with other people. Like with just a single click, you can connect anyone with any part of the world. And the because of the use of social media, now we can keep our points in front of the whole world. The whole one is seeing you, is listening you, is respecting your points. With this gentleman, there are also various disadvantages of smartphones too. The first disadvantage is that we can see that as smartphones are getting in the hands of small children, they are getting attracted towards various online games. Because of this,
Last 30
their health
seconds.
is getting deteriorated. Also the main disadvantage of smartphone is being that we are getting disconnected from our family, with the physical relations are getting over. Generally in India, we can see that the smartphones are very to buy, easy to buy, and the internet is also very cheap services. Generally, we can see that every coin has two sides, and it is our on our perception that what we see. Thank you.
Time up.
Okay, Saurabh, very important topic. Smartphone, a friend or foe? Is it an enemy or is it a friend? It is. It can be equated with something like any scientific advancement. You see, nuclear technology can be nuclear energy or can be a nuclear bomb. You can take a gun. It can be for protection or killing some innocent person. A knife can cut utility things, or it can be used for vegetable cutting, or it can be used for killing. Something like that. A smartphone has become a tremendously empowered thing or powerful weapon. I will call it as a weapon because it is empowering an individual for pursuing anything. A scientist may do a lot of research through self study with the help of mobile. He need not to carry books now or papers. A student can do education. A lady can do any household thing by seeing different kinds of videos, knowledge on that. So you name a sector which can be followed or can be seen as helping hand for following your own passion, dreams, aspirations, and the handy tool is mobile. But at the same time, it is creating problems. It is breaking relations. Saurabh was highlighting it. At family front, it is enabling us to connect distant people, but the closer ones are getting disconnected. The mobile moment you put on a social media any hatred message or anything which is instigating, it may create problems. A country need not to attack any other country. They can sitting at one place. Agencies can launch a war through cyber world, social media, information warfare. This is a new field which is coming up. Miscampaign or discampaign. You can say information spread in desired way. You can literally attack a country now. You can spread violence. You can create a lot of tensions in other country, in other societies. Corporate wars are there. Everywhere it can be good or bad. So it is very interesting. We all need to be more aware now because technology is in our hands now. The mobile itself is a world in our hand. We need to be more watchful, more aware, and very, very judicious when it comes to operate in today's environment. We literally need to be more wise now. Okay, who is next?
Jay is
So
there.
anything for improvement?
Okay, you see, you started very well. But then the tempo was going down in between, and late it was again picking up. Maybe speaking on this platform is little different. When you stand in front,
Yes.
that is a different forum. So just be comfortable wherever you are. When you start, assume that there are so many people sitting in front of you and you are speaking. So it was little obvious. You started with a very high tempo and it was going down and then settled. Okay, Saurabh?
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
points were good. Okay, Jay. Saurabh, keep time.
Yes, sir. Jay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So you may start.
Good evening, friends. Today's my lecture topic is uses of social media. In the world, social media is playing playing the best roles in the nowadays. Nowadays, social media is playing a hug role in boosting the business. Uses of social media today's world. It is the one of most important uh, important platform for other social social media is the platform through we connect many peoples around the world. Nowadays, social media is influencing the youth more than any other platforms. Social media comes with the many options that are really likes nowadays. Social media is boosting the business and branded endorsements in the Facebook and Instagrams analyze the market through the platforms. For a small scale startups to big renowned companies amplify their business through these platforms as there is the direct interactions with the youths. A part of Facebooks and Instagrams and other apps, there are other social media platform that really connects to the people of diversity. Two of such platforms, Quora in LinkedIn and the platforms Quora in are the really changes the minds thinking of societies. And unemployment exist in India. The reasons are so many, but real practical reasons that are the no proper connection between industry and the aspirants. Hence comes the make connections with the industry's people. That is the profile strong. Then the jobs offer will be notifications that the amazing right. Even the platform will Upwork and a few are where the people showcase their skills and get paid. Uses of social media in today's world, but in India, a small part of youth are somewhere using their platforms and aware purposes. The social media bullying, the private chat rooms, etc. The real that's minds of youth in another way rather than the connecting and associate sites of social media. It makes the best uses of it because youth constitutions 50% of total population in India.
Last 30 seconds.
Okay, I think there is some network issue with Jay. Till the time he comes back, who is the next volunteer? Okay, I think rest all are listening today. Social media, try and understand what is social media. We are part of a civilization, human civilization, where we are interacting with each other. We are a social animal actually. We keep reading, keep hearing this. Human is a social animal. And from this perspective, if you see how our life starts, we start our life in a family. Thereafter, we interact, our circle increases to the outer world. And today, with the help of technology, we are connected to remotest part of the world through social media. There are websites, there are video chatting facilities, mailing facilities, or you see different platforms where we can interact for official purpose or personal purpose. But then, same social media, on one hand, when it brings together people for positive cause, can create problems for different issues when it is someone is planning something dangerous or the intentions are wrong. Any organization, any person, nowadays you see how the hate campaign or the instigations happens, the radical thinking or radicalization in a wrong sense is forced. There are some kind of messages which may change your perceptions if you are time and again bombarded with such kind of ideology where you are getting hypnotized through this social media. It may be through audios, videos, text messages, or anything. Even the um, social media can be from experts, news channels, or normal one to one human beings who are interacting through WhatsApp or Facebook. So it has got multi dimensions. Social media is not limited to now. Earlier, there was a news channel or a particular national channel. Then came with a lot of channels. A Star World or Star Network came, and it was flooding of channels. Today, every individual is a channel. If you are exchanging message with an individual or in a group or with an organization, you are interacting. Every entity is now separate. If I fabricate a message today and which is not well intended, I am also a media. I am also originator of something. If I am originating a poem or a scientific thing or something good, some entertainment, I also have different dimensions when I am operating as a media. So this is very funny situation today, very dynamic, challenging, and that is why next 9/11 will be through social media, or it can be some kind of cyber war. We don't know what is going to happen with this dynamic world. We are literally living in in a nanosecond. One thing can change when we are saying nanotechnology or something like that. So literally to that time scale, we are now operating. You see, a video is launched within seconds, millions of views are there. So you divide all those individuals and time scale, it is coming to fractions of seconds. How many people are getting connected for good or bad? Both. I'm saying both. A good mobile is launched, within seconds it gets sold out. A bad message is spread, even that is also getting a good audience, huge audience. So it is a very dangerous proposition today. It is very difficult to gauge because by the time you understand the thing, the damage might have been done before you could realize or wake up. So that is the very challenging scenario today. Okay, I think all have spoken and there are no more volunteers. Anyone who wants to contribute something or say something, not as a lecturate, but wants to express. All must express at least one line. Let me see who all are there. At least say something. Open up. Anj?
Sir,
Yes.
in a lecture, some of the students have a catchy phrase in starting. So it should be always a serious one, or it can be funny too.
Yes.
Well,
See, you can have your own style. You need not be really serious. You can. Depends on topic also. If you have got a topic like my hobby, a very simple topic, or my favorite sports person, or my role model. So if such topics are there, you can literally start in a humorous way or whatever way you want to start, or it is social media for any topic. It depends upon your personality also how you want to start. There is no embargo ki how to start, or there is no cyclosion thing. Ki, okay, this is how only you should start. It is yes, it is a formal thing, especially in a defense interview, SSB. But this lecture it is I am not limiting it to only defense preparation. This is personality development. Everyone, those who are trying to become something special in life, need to communicate well. So here we are actually developing our communication skills, knowledge. You see now today 8 people have spoken. The 8 students have spoken on 8 topics, different variety. So that much knowledge, if you attend weekly twice or thrice, you see the amount of knowledge going into your head. You may prepare on one topic, but there are so many topics you are hearing. This also, and I'm sure today also some of you might have realized that ये तो मुझे पता नहीं था. This may happen. Okay, I am very interested now to hear at least one line from new joinees, or even there are some old also. Anj, say something. You may comment.
Jain sir.
Jai Hind. Express. You have to speak something.
Sure sir. Sir, where do you take your offline classes? Is it in Pune or some other city?
It is in Aurangabad actually. Unfortunately, you are at Pune, so you can't attend, and that is why we are compensating by putting these online things. And there are few recorded things also we are putting. And don't worry, if you are really a die-hard aspirant of NDA,
Yes sir.
this platform is also enough, and your own self-study, which we will obviously guide. Okay,
Yes
Ansh?
sir. Also, I wanted to ask one thing, sir. How can we improve our vocabulary?
Okay, my suggestion, which I did in my life at your age, I opened one notebook. In that, I used to write notes and everything. Um, on every page, every day, I used to write one word. So its meaning, one sample statement, sentence. Those days, there was no internet, there was no digital media. In fact, no TV also. I am talking of year I did my 12th in 95, 10th in 93. So that time even TV was just a distant thing. उसमें एक आध चैनल होता था. तो in that time we had more time. We used to be with notebooks or something. So today also you can use the technology also, your mobiles, for vocabulary building. But my style you can apply with technology. On every day morning, I had a habit of picking one word, new word, random word, or which came uh, across previous day. So that word, right, then learning it, it takes 2 to 3 minutes. Or even if you open a dictionary, suddenly you just pick up any word which you feel okay, this is useful word, and thereafter try and utilize that word during that day deliberately, saying something, utilizing that word. That word has to be utilized that day, use that day deliberately, and it will go into permanent memory if you do 2 3 times use of that particular word on that day, writing or speaking somewhere. Because in 24 hours there are many ways you can speak, write, and get that word into routine. Next day another word. So this is a simple thing which may require only 2 to 3 minutes in the morning, and daytime in a routine you use it. But every day you are bringing one word. At the end of the month there are 30 new words, and you do this exercise only for 6 months. Around 150, 180 words is a good amount of vocabulary. New words, huh? Not that those words are known to you. You picked up every new word which was actually not known to you. Now I tell you, okay, you write down important words apart from routine words. We may list at the most 100. It is difficult to list out words, but with this simple exercise, you can do that. And then while preparing for English of a competitive exam, you go for antonyms, synonyms. So when you actually pick up a word in the morning, even you write one antonym, one synonym, so it becomes 3 words. You have your own style. So 3 words per day actually, one antonym, one synonym, and one word. So this is a group of 3 words. So you can have your own way. Okay, Ansh? Sounds logical?
Yes sir.
You can have your own style actually, how you pick up words, or instead of picking up, you hear somewhere news वगैरह वहां से pick up करो, या newspaper से pick up करो, wherever you. But you be smart. You cannot be doing more hard work. Do smart work. बहुत एक्स्ट्रा काम मत करो. जो चल रहा है उसी में इजी जिंदगी बनाओ. डोंट डू स्पेशली कि ये करना है वो करना है. रूटीन में कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे उसको एम्बेडिंग करो ऐसे उसको शामिल करो कि आप स्मार्ट वर्कर बनोगे, नॉट दैट अ हार्ड वर्कर. Definitely, smart work involves hard work, but smart work will give more effective outputs. Efficiency will be more, and you will be less tired. You will be energetic throughout. Okay. Uh, Let me hear now others also. There is Vedant. Say something.
Sir, I want to speak something.
Who is there? Pranit. Pranit, yesterday we spoke, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You are in 11th.
Yes, sir. I am in 11th.
Okay, you want to speak something as a lecturer or express yourself?
I just wanted to express myself.
Okay, go ahead.
I wanted to just, sir, I wanted to just introduce myself to my friends.
Great.
So, friends, good evening. My name is Praneeth, and I am studying in 11th standard. I'm a commerce student, and I am an NDA aspirant. Uh, I have completed my 10th in Udupi. It is in Karnataka. Uh, Especially if we name Karnataka, Bengaluru comes in every mind of people. From Bengaluru, it is 400 to 400 kilometer to Udupi. It takes nearly 8 to 9 hours. I am currently in Udupi and I am staying here and going to college. Uh, I have referred to this Josh Academy or sir uh, with the help of my who cousin or a sir who was in who is major. He referred me, and because of him I have got to this, and it is very helpful. This is my first session which I am attending today, and it is very interesting, and I come across many topics to learn. Since 8 topics just we discussed, I have learned many topics. So I think this would continue, and even I could present some presentation or do lecture on some topic. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good, Pranit. This is how actually naturally you all should develop your personalities, knowledge. See, you are entering into a different generation of world. Future will be too smart, and you have to be smart now. You should be picking up knowledge. You should not be wasting time. You should be understanding the world. It is very fast world you will be encountering. You must be understanding the dynamics which is happening in every sector. So you should be equipped with a lot of knowledge. Just explore the world around you. Express yourself. Communication skill is important. Whichever field you go, you need to talk well. You need to understand well. You need to hear people. And see, today also we are connecting from different places. World has become so beautiful. I joined defense and I used to write letter to my parents. Letter used to come after 8 days, 10 days, 12 days, 15 days. When my parents wrote back or they used to write, same after 10 days or so, letter used to reach. And see today world. Yesterday I spoke to Pranit. Pranit is live here. So this is how it is so fast world. You cannot be wasting your time. Life is beautiful provided you treat it like that. Make it more beautiful. Okay. Anyone else who wants to express?
Sir, may I?
Yes, Vipul. Vipul also uh, today only he has actually joined in our group. Yes, Vipul, go ahead.
Jai Hind to everyone. My name is Cadet Vipul Chavan. I have completed my 12th and I'm aspiring for National Defense Academy. Sir, I want to speak on the topic sports contribution of India.
Okay, go ahead. Should I tell someone to keep time or you are under control that you will finish in 2 to 3 minutes?
Yeah, I'll control.
Yes, go ahead.
So, if we see in today's generation, India has a good contribution in sports. As we see that, as if we compare our country with other country, we don't have that much facility with medals. Sports player, they have potential, but they didn't get the right equipment. They didn't get facility. Because of that, we are lacking. We're lacking. That's why we lag behind other countries. And if if our government or if we'll provide right equipment, right facility, or even grounds and other other things, then definitely our sports person will contribute and will bring they will bring a lot many medals to our country, and then our India will definitely will make they will make India pride in the world, sir.
Yes, Vipul, your emotions I could read. Um, make our country proud. Sports is one arena where actually we need better facilities, better contribution, better help from government, better infrastructure at district level, rural level, state level, national level, Khelo India mission to prosper or generate better outputs. So this topic is very vast. You can speak from different dimensions: Olympic level, individual games, team games, national game is hockey. Where are we standing on that? All those things you can cover from different angles. Vipul, this is just a beginning. You must have thought that I will speak like this. This is applicable to many new beginners. One goes through this, we think that we will speak like this, but when it starts, we are not able to deliver the way we want. This is exactly that experience which one has to go through. And slowly you polish yourself, you understand, psychologically you tune yourself, and automatically, more you speak, more you practice, things go smooth in future. So you have to practice more, engage yourself in your friendly discussions in English, qualitative discussions, pick up different topics. I'm telling you, if you go to previous sessions, you have ready-made topics, you have thumbnail, you choose a topic, read someone else or hear someone else, and you get a ready-made 3 minutes material. You add your own, you pick up someone else some points, add your own points, so you will move faster, you have better knowledge, you have better content. So that can be one methodology, because there are so many topics people are speaking. When you want to practice on particular topic, if someone else has spoken, pick up from there, just hear it out, couple of points you will get ready made, and you add your own personality into it, and this art you need to develop. Okay, I
Okay, sir.
think we have overshoot our time today.
Sir, again, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Sir, what could be the perspective of if you see what you did in your written examination? Because two times I have couldn't make it.
Okay. uh, I will cut it short. Written examination is actually an individual effort. You may get support, mentorship from here and there, but the key to is to passing written examination is systematic approach, starting from your syllabus and covering chapter wise. Previous year question papers are the biggest crux where you need to operate well. If you are understanding syllabus and previous year question papers, you get a pattern and you get a hint that this is the quality or level of questions which are being asked. So what happens when you are studying, you always have back of mind the level of difficulty, and from that angle, that perspective, your study moves on. So ideally, very frequently or weekly or monthly or fortnightly, you should be solving timed question paper. It can be practice question paper from anywhere, or it can be straight away previous question paper. This is very important. Firstly, covering your syllabus in a appropriate way, and then more focus on previous year question papers. This is in a nutshell, because today we have less time, but Vipul, I will brief you in more detail. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Group study. Another key is group study.
As
Make a
we
group.
said,
Yes, yes, Ansh.
sir, I think consistency also plays a really big role.
Yes. See, any higher success not only of this competitive exam, in your life, you have to be consistent. Otherwise, success will not last long. कुछ achieve कर लोगे फिर गिर जाओगे. You will fall down. And not in literal sense, but in terms of progress. You will come down. This is a natural law. If you don't hold on to your or able to maintain the momentum, you will go down. So same thing is applicable. You do 10 days study, you take 3 days break, you feel that you miss something, you are again down, you are again back. So backlog is again created and you again have to catch up. So this consistency, you can have your own pattern actually, but person to person the approach may change. Okay, we will end here. Vedant is not there. Vedant? Okay, no issue. Next time he will speak. We will end here. Bye. Take care. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind, sir.
Have a good
Jai
day.
sir.